I have a picture I took of a tree at Neil Smith Prairie Friday of last week. So today's April 22nd, 2024. And I roughly drew it in with some pencil, Pentel pencil. And now we're going to hit it with some watercolor. I did some studies. I'll do a separate video on that later. I apologize for my voice. My allergies are bothering me. I'm really bad. And so yeah, let's paint. I have this buff color over here. So I'm going to hit some of the ground. I think it's a buff titanium is the name of the color. And then I will go in and fill some areas with another color called Under the Sea Green by Neil Smith. I'm not sure who this buff color is made by. But with watercolor, you want to put your light colors down first and then add your dark colors over the top. Now, it won't matter that I put Under the Sea Green on top of this buff color. It's pretty strong, almost semi-opaque color, actually. So we have two ridges here behind this tree, and this tree I do believe is it's not a yeah, it is a sycamore, it's not a cottonwood. And I want to mix some colors. I'm going to get my Under the Sea Green out. Alright, I have some Under the Sea Green here, and I'm going to add it in bit pieces. The colors out here on the prairie aren't necessarily really bright and vivid green, so you get into southern Iowa, you're going to see more, especially eastern Iowa, southeastern Iowa, you're going to see a lot more vivid colors like you would east of the Mississippi, but out here the greens are a little bit more subdued and muted. Maybe a little bit more yellow to the leaves or to the grasses. So right now it's spring. The green grass is starting to come up, and so you're seeing a lot of like that buff titanium or wheat color, straw color interspersed amongst the green shoots that are coming up out of the ground. This is the Neil Smith Wildlife Center Refuge. They have bison, elk, short-eared owls, a whole myriad of birds. I saw 2 yellow-headed blackbirds while I was out there and a whole slug of red-winged blackbirds. Still a little bit too early for butterflies. A lot of times when I've been out there, I've seen huge praying mantis. When I saw it the last time I was out there and I photographed it, it had to have been a female because she was just huge. I forgot to put a liner down, but I should be fine. So I was doing some color swatching because I was wanting to get the color of the sky down so it didn't look cartoonish. And the horizon's a little bit darker over here. And I was also kind of making some brownish colors to capture the tree line off in the distance. I posted a photo of this tree earlier, so knock yourself out and paint some of the tree. I'd be definitely interested in seeing what you make. So I'm dabbing up a little bit of what's called a moss color. I'm not sure what brand that is because I failed to put it on my card. And kind of blend these greens with the buff, titanium. And so we're going to take some of this Moonlight Glow, the Neil Smith color, and kind of create our shadow that our tree is creating. Take some Payne's Gray and give a little light wash. And then I'll start doing some color mixing. I bought some new dagger brushes recently, and I have to admit it's going to take a little bit of getting used to using them. But I was watching a couple of different artists working with them, painting branches and leaves, and it's kind of like, oh, so that's the magic solution. So I'm just putting down a base layer of Payne's Gray, give some basic color, and then while it dries, I will do some color mixing. Down on top of the bark, because obviously the tree is not completely gray. But this would be kind of like an underpainting of sorts. And then I have some other colors I'm going to do, probably like a dark umber combined with the undersea green and the and if in doubt, Had the color you just mixed up. Oh yeah. That'd be perfect. So this is the undersea green and raw umber, and we'll start doing this with our trees out here in the background. And that paintbrush is way too big. Blot off that excess and it kind of give it an organic look. So some of the trees are down here on this portion of the hill, and then up here the trees tops are peeking up back behind the top of the hill. And so you have to kind of pay attention to where the light is hitting the tree branches. So some branches are going to be much darker than others because they are in the shadow. And then you have to pay attention to where the light is hitting portions of the branches. Are the bottom of the branches lighter in color than the top, or vice versa? You can also come into this with watercolor pencils or crayons. I edited out a bunch of the branches. Need to dig out my number 4 paintbrush. And it's basically about all. This side over here is really dark. Again, this is a burnt umber and undersea green that I mixed together. And if you hear any loud noises in the background, I have pets, and also I live off a very busy state highway here in town, and they are doing construction out there, major construction. It's the second year in a row that they've had this road completely torn up. Alright, we're going to let this dry for a while. And while this is drying, I'm going to work on my other projects. I'm going to have to reformat the camera so there's enough space on it for filming. But basically, there she is. And there's a spot that I'm leaving empty for here right now. This was where the bark was removed. I'm assuming was probably rubbed on by the bison. And it's kind of like a bleached silvery color. So, and I'll do some color studies for that, and then we'll finish it later. And we'll come back in, and once this is dry, we're going to hit this. We're going to do paint the sky, and we're going to hit these branches with a little bit more color. Because the tree was branching out, there's a little bit of a bright yellowish green at the branch ends. So, thank you for joining me. Bye.